Right, Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yashab Barakathum to all the Akim and Yahweh Shamar Latham Bashim Yahweh Shai to all the Akwathian out there, to our children. This is the Baltimore Sabbath Service. We are September 28, 2024. I almost said 2004. Wow, I was knocking off 20 years. So this is just to remind Akim that the we do have a Sabbath service coming up during this week coming up. It is the Feast of Trumpets. The Feast of Trumpets will be, we'll talk about that, well, pretty much we'll talk about that when we get to that feast day, but that is one of the first feast days in the fall summer season. And so we will discuss that. It's going to be on October 2nd at 7 p.m. So mark your calendars. It's October 7th, 7 p.m. at sunset. And we will talk about going through, it's a tradition of the UPK to go through all the feast days, starting with the Sabbath, Passover, and going on down, which can be found in Leviticus 23. All right, so we'll be looking forward to that on October 2nd. We're also, people, if they come to the Baltimore area, probably try to continue our Bible family game after we have the Sabbath service, because it's very competitive last time, and I think some people are out for, in love with, in brotherhood. They're very competitive towards their brothers. So. All right, so let's go get into it today. We were in Genesis 25. Let's do a little review. We saw that Isaac, okay, let's see. We got some people here, so we'll just ask them, I always like to work the audience. So Abraham did not want Isaac to marry a woman of Canaan, so Isaac's servant went and he found a lady named... Remember her name? Go ahead. Rebecca. Okay, and Rebecca was part of Abraham's pretty much tribe lineage. So she was the one that was Abraham's servant went and found her. She came back, and Isaac and Rebecca were married. Okay, and then over time, Rebecca became pregnant. And she had twins, and the twins' names were? Remember the twins? Jacob and Esau. Okay, Jacob and Esau were the twins. Okay, now, what made Esau look so different? Go ahead. Yeah, he was like a hairy red man. Like his hair was like red. He kind of looked like a beast. Okay, so that's what made him look so unusual. He didn't look normal. And of course, Jacob came out after Esau, and he had hold his heel, and that's I think what Jacob, Yaiquab in Hebrew. I think it means like supplanter, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what his name means. All right. And what type of man was Esau? Type of man was he? Come on. Yeah, it was like a hunter, man of the field, just kind of like a beast, and what kind of man was Jacob? I remember. Okay, well, Jacob was described as a plain man, which could also mean like complete man, like a complete man, well-rounded. He wasn't like Esau. There was a contrast between them. Okay. Also, it could be translated perfect man. So, and the reason why they're saying that is because they're making a contrast difference between the two lines, the two nations. Okay. We of Jacob's lineage are complete when we keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? So we're going to be reading today. We're going to take up the story talking about Jacob and Esau. We're going to be reading Genesis 25, verses 28 through 34. You want me to take this one? We're going to be reading that in the Hebrew, and then we're going to read it in the English.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 28. Waya ahab, yatazakah, Aisha wa kaya, tazayad, Papayawa, Rabakwa, Ahaba, Ya'ikwa, verse 29. Wayazad, Ya'ikwa, Nazayad, Wayaba'a, Aishawa, Man, Hashada, Wahawa'a, Ayak, verse 30. Wayamar, Aishawa, Al, Ya'ikwa, Hala'ayat, Hala'ayata, 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 Na'a, Man, Ha'adam, Hazah, Kaya, Ayat, Anakia, Al, Khan, Kora'ah, Shamwa, Adawam, verse 31. Wayamar, Ayaquab, Ya'ikwa, Makara, Kayawam, Bakarathka, Laya, verse 32. Wayamar, Aishawa, Hana, Anakia, Hawalak, Lamawa, Ulama, Zaha, Laya, Bakara, verse 33. Wayamar, Ya'ikwa, Hashaba'ai, Laya, Kayawam, Wayashabai, Lawa, Wayamakar, Bakarathwa, La'ikwa, verse 34. Waya'ikwa, Nathan, La'ishawa, Lakam, Wanazayat, Wanazayat, Adashium, Waya Akal, Waya Shav, Waya Kwam, Waya Laka, Waya Baz, Aishawa, Habakara, and that's it.
All right, now we're going to be reading that, Genesis 25, verses 28 through 35. We're going to read in the English. Genesis chapter 25, verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Okay, and so obviously you can tell, they're favorites here for each side. Okay, and Rebekah knew what was going to happen too, because remember, she inquired of the Most High, and so she knew that the elder Esau eventually would be serving the younger. She knew that because remember, she inquired and to try to find out why were the two babies struggling in their womb, because it must have been painful. And so when she inquired to find out, then she was told that there were two nations in her womb, and two different types of people. And she said one would be stronger than the other, and the elder should serve the younger. So she knew that.
Hey, so like if I could too, and that's very important, the point you just made, because like when they say two nations are in thy womb, typically you having twins, they brothers, that's one nation. You see what I'm saying?
Come.
But the Lord separated them at this point. That's why he says two nations, two manner of people, two different types of people are about to come out of you. The Lord separated them in her womb.
Con, and it's like you said, that's an excellent point, because the Most High was always separating people and they could have come from the same. They could have come from the same. They could have womb. They could have come from the same womb, or, notice how the Most High, there was a separation between Cain and Abel. There was a separation there, okay? Or you could see Ishmael and Isaac? It's a separation. Jacob and Esau, separation. So if you notice, it's a pattern. If you go down the scriptures, you notice that the Most High was always separating people out. All right, let's keep it going. And verse 20, verse 29. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Verse 32. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? Verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Verse 34. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up, and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Well, I mean, this just shows the character of Esau anyway. He didn't really really have any care for his birthright. Okay, just sold it for, some red pottage. Means that, that shows what type of character he had. Okay? Just thinking for the moment. Like a beast. That's what, a beast just wants to be fed of the moment. It's not like they're long-term. It's not long-term thinking. Okay? It shows the mindset, and he despised his birthright. It shows the character. Okay?
Hey, so like if I could too, this is also important to note that like this is the prophecy of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of people that sit there and they talk about how Jacob deceived his brother and this, that, and the third. This is actually a prophecy that came from the Lord. Like if you go back a couple of scriptures, in verse 23, it spoke of how the elder shall serve the younger. You see what I'm saying? So the Lord is actually, like this is actually of the Lord what's happening right here. Like the Lord is the one who's setting this in motion. And Esau, being a beast, just like any animal, they're like, they just trying to survive. You see what I'm saying? So they not thinking, like if you look at Esau today, he does things that benefit him right now. You see what I'm saying? He's not like, if you look at the air, if you look at the water, if you look at the food, he'll poison his own food. He'll poison his own water. You see what I'm saying? To make $1. You see what I'm saying? Like this is the same way he sold his birthright. So everything that come beyond that, you see what I'm saying, is legit because he already sold it. And back then, your word is your word. You can't break that tree like you do today. You see what I'm saying?
It's like, if I can make, so your word was the seal of the contract, is what you said out of your mouth. And that's why Yahushua, if I may, said, let your yes be yes, and because, and I'm not that aggressive, Slack, if I may. No, I was telling my sister the other day, like, people just don't keep their word nowadays. And the reason I know that, because leaving the teacher field, I'm in the business field, and you deal with a lot of business people, they don't keep their word. They really don't. They literally, their word is like the wind. They say something today, and then tomorrow, their word will literally just change. And they won't even say, like, well, you know what, I did say that. So it's like the politicians, They'll say something today, and then tomorrow, it's like, and they always find a loophole, but I didn't necessarily say that. Mm-hmm. So it's the same attitude. That, it's the same attitude. That's why I say, let your yes be yes, and your no be no. If you said it, you said it. But, like I said, when I deal with businesses every day, the business owner could say yes today, and then tomorrow, just say no. It's just like, no, people aren't people of their word. All right? Let's go ahead and keep it going. We're now in Genesis chapter 26, and we're reading verses 1 through 7. We'll take this. All right, we're going to read in the Hebrew first. Genesis chapter 26, verse 1. Wayahaya, Ra'aib, Ba'aratazah, Malabad, Hara'aib, Hara'ai Shawan, Ashar, Hayah, Bayamya, Abaraham, Wayalak, Yatzahak, Yatzahak, Al, Abaya Malak, Pelashathim, Garara. Verse 2. Wayara'ah, al Yahweh, Yahweh, Wayamar, al Tharad, Matazarium, Shakan, Ba'arataza, Ashar, Amar, al Yakah. Verse 3. Gawar, Ba'arataza, Haza'af, Waha Haya, Ainka, Wa'a Barakka, Kaya, Laka, Wala Zaraika, Atan, Af, Kal, Ha'ar Rataza Af, Ha'al, Waha Kwamathya, Af, Hashaba'aiha, Ashar, Nashaba'aithya, La Abaraham, Abayaka. Verse 4. Waharab, Raharaba Yafya, Af, Zaraika, Kakawakabya, Hashamyam, Wanathafya, Lazaraika, Af, Kal, Harataza'af, Ha'al, Waha Thabarakwa, Bazaraika, Kal, Gawa Yaya, Golyaya, Slakia. Ha'arataza, verse 5. Iquab, Ashar, Shammai, Abaraham, Baqualia, Wayashamar, Masha Marathia, Matazawathia, Kakwawathia, Wathawarathia. Verse 6. Warashab, Yatazahach, Bagarar. Verse 7. Wayasha'alwa, Anashya, Hamakwawam, La'ashafya, Wayamar, Akhafya, Hawa'a, Kaya, Yara'ah, La'amar, Ashafya, Pan, Yaha, Raganya, Anashya, Hamakwawam, Al, Rabakwa, Kaya, Tawabath, Mara Aha, Haya'ah, and that's it. All right, we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 26, 1 through 7.
Genesis chapter 26, verse 1. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. Verse 2. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Verse 3. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. Verse 4. And I will make thy seed...
Can I interrupt you? And you notice he said, I will give thy countries. These are the places, see, that land, and I keep saying this, if you look at a map and you look at Israel, that's not the Israel that the Most High promised our forefathers. That's a big landmass over there. It goes all the way from Egypt, all the way through parts of Saudi Arabia, up to, I think even up as far as Iran, Iraq, maybe even some parts of Turkey. But that's a big part of the land. And he said, I'm going to give you all these countries. That's why when Israel got into that land, those most of the High said, get rid of those nations. Because that's the land that the Most High promised to Abraham. So he's reaffirming that promise to Isaac, that, I will give you the countries, these lands over here that these nations have, I'm going to give it to your seed. Okay, and that's the land that was promised us. And really, that's the Garden of Eden, all of that land. Okay, because you look back in Genesis, you'll see that the area that the Garden of Eden covered, it's the same area. Okay, that's the same area that, the land that promised. It was always intended for us to be in that land and to rule in that, and to rule from there. And that's where Jerusalem is as well. Slacking.
Verse 4. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
In thy seed all the nations of the earth will be blessed. Okay? And a precept to that is Isaiah 2. When you think of Isaiah 2, when they say, come, let us go into the mountains of the Most High. These are the nations. And these are the nations that are under Israel. See, it says all the nations will be blessed. Shalom, Lord Christ, sir. It says all the nations will be blessed because all the nations will be under Israel and will have to keep the law. Okay? They'll be keeping the law or die. I mean, I think they'll want to pick, I think they would want to pick the option and live. The Most High said, you do these commandments and you shall live. Okay? You don't, it says the wages of sin is death. So you'll die. So the nations will be blessed because they'll be keeping the laws. And you look at Zechariah 14, where it says the nations will be cursed and don't come up and keep the feast. You'll get a curse. Okay, so that's why the nation of earth will be blessed, because they'll be keeping those laws. So like, so
it's like it too. And another way of another breakdown of that, as far as the nations being blessed. Like, these nations get blessed because they have us in captivity. You see what I'm saying? Meaning, like, if we look at Egypt, when Egypt was a superpower, Egypt was only a superpower when they had us in captivity.
God.
America is only blessed and has grown the way it's grown because they have us in captivity.
God.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to look at it like, when we breaking the law and we go into captivity and we go under these other nations, that's a blessing for them.
God.
You see what I'm saying? That's why we got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. You feel me? Because it's a different type of blessing.
God.
You see what I'm saying? When we a righteous nation.
God.
Verse 5. It's like Genesis chapter 26, verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Verse 6. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And verse 7. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife. Lest said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon.
So he did the same thing his father did with Sarah. He said, because you got to think of how these black women looked. They were beautiful. And they knew that, like, pretty much, you could get killed for that. I mean, you got to think of, throughout history, how our black women were always taken from us, by other nations.
God.
You know what I'm saying? Because they were beautiful. That's why these other nations, the women in other nations, who do they try to look like? They try to look like black women. They try to have a figure like a black woman. They try to have the hair like the black woman.
God.
Because, our black women were the most beautiful women. And I'm talking about the black women of our nation. Okay? I'm not just talking about just because the skin color. I'm talking about our sisters that come from our nation. They were the most beautiful. You think of Queen Esther. I mean, the king of the Medes and the Persians held out his scepter when he saw her. Usually, you couldn't even walk in the king's court. You would get killed. The man held out his scepter because she was beautiful. Okay, and then she had the beautiful garments. And our sisters weren't half naked. They had beautiful garments. So Isaac knew that, and these other nations would take our women or try to take them, and we'd get killed. Same thing that happened when we went into captivity. All the times when we would go into captivity, you would think, even when the it's like, sorry, I'm just even when you go look throughout history, when the explorers came over here, when the conquistadors, it's the first thing they did. They took the women of Israel. They would take the Taino natives. When Christopher Columbus and them came back, that nation was pretty much, they had pretty much destroyed a lot of those natives, and they were taking the women. So that's just, pretty much something to think about. It's like, so I need this camera's car.
All right, we're in Genesis chapter 26, verse 8 through 14, in the Hebrew. Genesis chapter 26, verse 8.
Oh, so like, I didn't tell you when you were setting up. So like, can we put Virginia on there? We need a broadcaster in Virginia.
Broadcaster in Virginia?
Con.
Let me speak to people.
Hold on. Virginia, hold on. Con, Officer Matthias, I want to speak to. Come on a second.
Hey, chill out, little place. Chill out yourself. Hey, no, I'm on the stage, but can I do that without canceling, without stopping this one? I got to just start it over.
You said keep going? Con. All right. Do we finish, right? All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue. Just making sure we got the broadcast in Virginia. We're in Genesis chapter 26. And we're going to be reading, let me get the Tanakh. Let me see. We're in Genesis chapter 26. I think we finished 1 through 7. Let me make sure we finished verse. I think we finished verse 7, but I'll read. We did. We finished. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and continue. We're in Genesis chapter 26, so we're going to read verses 8 through 11 in the Hebrew, and then we'll get it in the English. Let me use this Tanakh here. And we'll be reading, let me see. All right. We're in Genesis chapter 26, verses 8 through 14. We'll read that in the Hebrew. Oh, slide. We good? Okay, make sure we're in Virginia. All right, Genesis chapter 26, verse 8 through 14. We're going to read that in the Hebrew and then in the English. Genesis chapter 26, verse 8. Wayahaya kaya rachwa lawa sham ha yum yum wayasha kwap abayam malak palashafyam ba'aid haka la one wayara'a wahana yatazahak matazahak af rabakwa ashathwa, verse 9. Wayakura abaya malak laya tazahak wayamar ak hana ashafka hawa'a wayayak amaraf akafya hawa'a wayamar alyawa yatazahak kaya amarafya pan amarwaf alya, verse 10. Wayamar abayamalak ma za'af aishayaf lanawa kama ait shakab achad ha'aim af ashafka waha ba'af alyanawa asham, verse 11. Wayatazawa abayamalak af kal ha'aim la'amar hanagai ba'ayash azam wa ba'ashatwa mawaf yawamath, verse 12. Wayatzarai yatazahak ba'arataza hahawa'a wayamataza'a bashana hahawa'a maha sha'aryam wayabarakau hawa Yahweh, verse 13. Waya gadol ha'ayash wayalak halawak wagadol ay kaya gadol ma'ad. Verse 14. I'm going to 14, correct? Okay. Verse 14. Wayahaya lawa makwana taza'an wamakwana bakwar wa ay bada rabah wayakwana ahwa athwa palashafnyam. And that's it. All right, we're going to be going and reading Genesis chapter 26. We're reading 8 through 14, and we're going to read that in the English.
Genesis chapter 26, verse 8. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. Verse 9. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety, she is thy wife. And how sayest thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, lest I die for her. Verse 10. And Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done to us? One of thy people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldst have brought guiltness upon us. Verse 11. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Verse 12. Then Isaac sowed in that land, and received in the same year 100-fold. and the Lord blessed them. Verse 13. And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. Verse 14. For he had possessions of flocks and possession of herds and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him.
Excellent. And you see how Abimelech knew not to touch Isaac. Because the scripture, when it talks to Abraham, said, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. And so Abimelech knew better. He had a little. You notice he had some sense of not to touch or harm Isaac. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. We're now in Genesis 26. We're reading verses 15 through 21. We're going to read in the Hebrew. Let me take this one. Go. We're going to read in the Hebrew, and then we're going to take it in the English.
Genesis chapter 26, verse 15. Wakol, Habarath, Ashar, Kaparwa, Ibadya, Abiyawa, Bayamya, Abaraham, Abiyawa, Sathamawam, Pulashathya, Wiyamala, Wiyama'al Awam, Wiyamal Awam, Ipar, verse 16, Wayamar, Abiyamalak, Al, Yetazakak, Laka, Ma'aimanwa, Kaya, Yetazamath, Mamanwa, Ma'ad, verse 17, Wayalak, Masham, Yetazak, Yetazakak, Wayakan, Benakal, Garar, Wayashab, Shum, verse 18. Wayashab, Yetazakak, Wayakapar, Ba'ara, Hamayam, Ashar, Kaparwa, Bayamya, Abaraham, Abayawa, Wayasathamwam. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm. Con, sir.
Pulashathium, Akarya, Mawath, Abaraham, Wayakora'ah, Lahan, Shemawath, Kashama, Bashar, Kora'ah, Lahan, Abayawa, verse 19. Wayakaparwa, Ibadya, Yetazakak, Benakal, Wayamatazawa, Shum, Ba'ar, Mayam, Kayayam, verse 20. Wayarayabwa, Ra'aya, Garar, Ain, Ra'aya, Yetazakak, Lamar, Lanawa, Hamayam, Wayakora'ah, Shum, Haba'ar, Aishak, Kaya, Hatha Aishakwa, Ainwa, verse 21. Wayakaparwa, Ba'ar, Akarath, Wayarayabwa, Gum, Aliyah, Wayakora'ah, Shema, Quatana, and that's it.
All right, we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 26, verses 15 through 21 in the English. Genesis chapter 26, verse 15. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. Verse 16. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And you got to think, it shows the attitude. The Philistines, which they come from Ham, shows their attitude towards us too. Okay, towards Israelites, not on the same team. Okay, so you got to think about that too. All right, verse 16. Verse 17. And Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. Verse 18. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. Verse 19. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. Verse 20. And the herdmen of the Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. Verse 21. And they digged another well and strove for that also. And he called that name of it Sitnah. That's it. Okay. We're now.
Genesis chapter 26, verses 22 through 28 in the Hebrew.
Okay. You want me to take them?
Okay.
All right. Genesis chapter 26, verse 22. Where Isaac, Masham, where Kapar, Ba'ar, Akarath, where La'ah, Rabwa, Alya, where Korah, Shema, Raka Bawath, where Amar, Kaya, Atha, Harakayab, Yahweh, Lanawa, Waparyanawa, Baratazah, verse 23, where Al, Masham, Ba'ar, Shabai, verse 24, where Ra'ah, Alyawa, Yahweh, Bala Yala, Haha Wa'ah, Wayamar, Anakia, Alaya, Abaraham, Abayaka, Al, Thayara'ah, Kaya, Afka, Anakia, Wabarakathya, Aslakia, Wabarakathya, Waha Rabayathya, Af, Zaraika, Ba'ai Bawar, Abraham, Ibadya, verse 25, Wayabad, Sham, Mazabak, Wayakorah, Basham, Yahweh, Wayat, Sham, Alawa, Ahalwa, Wayakarwa, Sham, Ibadya, Yatazahak, Ba'ar, verse 26, Wa'aba Yamalak, Hamalak, Asa Halak, Alyawa, Gara Magarar, Kazath, Maraihawa, Wapa Yakal, Shar, Tazaba'awa, verse Tazabawa, sorry, it's lacking. What are we on, 28, sir?
Okay.
Verse 27, Wayamar, Alaham, Yatazachak, Madawai, Ba'atham, Alya, Wa'atham, Shana Atham, Athya, with a shalak with a shalak wanya, Salaki, Ma'athkam, verse 28, Wayamarwa, Ra'awa, Ra'ayanawa, Chaya, Yahawa, Aimak, Wana Amar, Fahaya, Na'a, Allah, Waya, Wana, so like Wana Naf Yanawa, Bayan Yanawa, Wabayanka, Wana Karafta, Baryath, Aimak, and that's it. Okay, go ahead, Salaki, sir.
We're in Genesis chapter 26, verses 22 through 28 in the English. Genesis 26, chapter 26, verse 22. And he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, for now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land.
You know, and this really shows the attitude of other nations. If you look at this context, this, you know what I like about this? Now, this might be just to some people like a little simple story that Isaac is finding wells, and then people are striving for them. That's deep. There's a deeper meaning to this. This shows that every time we come across something, what do the other nations do? They claim it, or they try to take it. You know, this goes right back into, this was happening right to our people right back then. Isaac finds wells, trying to benefit for his people, and who comes? The other nations come and try to strive and claim it. It's just like with all the inventions that blacks, Hispanics, and natives have done. Others come, they benefit off it, now it's theirs. This is the same attitude that other nations have for us. It's like they don't want any of us to have anything of our own. You know, they want it to, anytime that we come across a natural resource or where there's a natural resource in our nation, whether it's gold, whether it's diamonds, whether it's anything, another nation will come. This is water, it's a natural resource. Another nation will come and try to benefit off it. Just like when we were over here and all the conquistadors too with this, the other nations know, like if when we follow the Most High will deal with the other nations. He will deal with the other nations. All right, so you got to think about that. The other nations will be dealt with, and they'll know that. Okay.
It's like, if I could, one of his names from the other nations is the terrible. You see what I'm saying? Because when you touch Israel, especially when we doing right, we keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, the other nations know not to touch us.
Gone.
Like they can do what they want against us now. You see what I'm saying? Because we not keeping the law, so they think. You see what I'm saying? It's like Judah 5:20. Come. And that's the thing. When we are doing what the Most High tell us to do, these other nations know if you touch us, you will die. That's why they called his nickname was the terrible in the Bible.
Come.
All right, we're in Genesis chapter 26, verse 29 through 35 in the Hebrew. Genesis chapter 26, verse 29. Amah, the Aisha, Aymanwa, Ra'ai, Ka'ashar, La'ah, Nigga Ain, Nigga Ain Wak. That's all right?
Nigga I know where you cut. There's a cut at the end. So nigga I
So
know.
that'd be Wak.
It'd be a cut at the end because it's a possessor. Nigga I know.
Nigga Ain Wak.
Con.
Nigga Ain Waka. Waka Ashar. Ashayanawa.
Con.
Aimka. Raka. Tawab. Nishalaka. Bashalam. Aitha. Barawak. Yahweh.
Con, we were burning some more.
Verse 30. Waya Aish Laham. Mashata. Waya Akalwa. Waya Shathwa. Verse 31. Waya Shakayam. Oyeshakam, it's like Oyeshakayamwa, Babakwar, Oyeshabaiwa, Ayash, La'akyawa, Oyeshalakam, Yatazakak, Oyalakalwa, Ma'athwa, Shalom. Verse 32. Oyahaya, Oyawam, Hahawa'a, Oyaba'awa, Ibadia, Yatazakak, Oyagadwa, Bawa, Al, Adawa, Haba'ar, Ashar, Kaparwa, Oyamarwa, Lawa, Mataza Mayom. Verse 33. Oyapora'a, Atha, Shaba'ai, Al, Khan, Sham, Ha'ayar, Ba'ar, Shabai, Ai, Hayawam, Hazah. Verse 34. Oyahaya, Aishwa, Bun, Araba'ayo, Shana, Oyakwak, Asha, Ah, Yahawada, Yah, Ba, Ba'ariyah, Hakafya, Wa'ah, Bashama, Ba, Ayalan, Hakathia, verse 35, with the Hayayan, Marath, Rawak, the Yatazakak, Rabka. Is that it?
Where you at, Sly?
The very last one. Rabka.
Are you on 28, verse 35? Khan. Rabba Kwa. That's Rebecca's name.
Rabba Kwa. That's it.
All right, we're going to go ahead and read. We got to read in English.
Come.
We're going to read verses, what was it, we on 29?
29 through 35.
We're in Genesis chapter 26, 29 through 35 in the English. Genesis chapter 26, verse 29. That thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Most High. Verse 30. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. Verse 31. And they rose up betimes in the morning, and swore one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. Verse 32. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. Verse 33. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. Verse 34. And Esau was 40 years old when he took the wife Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and Rebekah. And you got to see too that who Esau was intermarrying with. Okay, he was intermarrying. This is why Esau is definitely of another nation. Esau was marrying into the nations that were against us. Okay, and he was marrying, taking wives of those nations that had other gods. That's why you notice the Most High never said, "I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Esau," because Esau did not serve the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac. He did not serve the God of the same God that his father Isaac served. Okay? He served the gods of his wives that he had. That's why the Most High told us not to take wives of other nations, because you end up serving the gods of them. You give in. Think back into the garden. You compromise. Okay? Your wife has another God she serves. You're going to start serving her God. Because you're going to compromise. Okay? You're going to do what she wants. Okay? She wants Christmas. She wants Christmas and she wants presents under the tree. You say you're not going to do it. Eventually, you're going to start saying Merry Christmas to everybody. Okay? And her grandmother and them are going to come over with the pork. They're going to come over with the ham. And you're going to compromise. Okay? And so Esau did not serve the God of his father Isaac. He served the gods of the Hittites and all the wives that he married. Okay, and we have plenty of examples in the Bible of when men went to women of other nations, how they served their gods. Okay?
Hey, so like if I could too, and that's part of him selling his birthright as well.
Con.
That we just read. Like he sold his birthright. You see what I'm saying? Jacob got it. You see what I'm saying? So like the law was not given to him, the law was given to Jacob.
Con. Excellent. That's it too, I think.
We got one more, right?
Oh, con. We got one more. All right. We're going to finish it off. Genesis chapter 27 now. And we're going to read verses 1 through 7 in Hebrew. I'm going to take this one. Con.
Genesis chapter 27,
Con.
verse 1. Wayahaya, Kaya, Zakwan, it has a kak with a kahat. With a hakayan, kahayan, ayan yawa, mara'ah, wayakora'ah, aishawa, banwa, hagadal, wayamar, alyawa, banya, wayamar, alyawa, hananya, verse 2, wayamar, hana, na'ah, zakwanaya, zakwanathya, la'ah, Yada'aithya, Yawam, Mawathya, verse 3. Wa'aitha, Sha'ah, Na'ah, Kolyaka, Dalayak, Dalyaka,
Con.
Wakwashathya, it's like
Con.
Wakwashathka,
Con.
Wataza Hashada, Wataza Wada, Laya, Taza Yada, verse 4. Wa Aisha, Laya, Mata Ainyam, Ka Ashar, Ahabathya, Wahabaya, Laya, wa akala, Aiba war, the Barakka, Napashia, Batarum, Amawath, verse 5. Rabakwa, Shema'ait, but the bar, Yataza Kak, Al, Aishawa, Bunwa, Wayalaka, Aishawa, Hashada, Lataza Wad, Taza Yad, Lahaba Ya'a, verse 6, Rabakwa, Amara, Al, Ya'aikwab, Bana, Lamar, Hana, Shema'aithya, Abyaka, Madabar, Al, Aishawa, Akyaka, La'amar, verse 7. Habiya'ah. What's that?
So, which one?
Verse 7.
How about ya? Oh, aha.
Habiya'ah. Laya, Taziyad, Wa Aisha, Laya, Mata'ainyam, Wa Akala, Wa Abarakka, the Punya, Yahweh, the Punya, Mawathia. That's it.
All right, we're going to now be reading Genesis 27. We're going to be reading verses 1 through 7 in the Hebrew. In the English, Slakia. Genesis chapter 27, verse 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son, and he said unto him, Behold, here I am. Verse 2, and he said, Behold now, I am old. I know not the day of my death. Verse 3, Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison. Verse 4, And make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me. And this is why Isaac loved Esau, because of the game the game that he would do and bring to him. He brought to his father, and he said, "Bring the stuff that I love, such that I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die." Now, we got to look at context. It was the firstborn usually was the one that would receive the blessing. It was usually the firstborn. It's kind of like even nowadays. People would say, well, unless the firstborn is just off their rockers. Usually they'll leave the stuff to the firstborn, and then the firstborn can kind of decide how to divvy things up. That's usually how it happens. But a lot of times in Scripture, the Most High didn't choose the firstborn. A lot of times he chose the least, or sometimes even the youngest, or the one that he saw that was that he chose. Okay, you could see this with Isaac. Isaac was not the oldest. Ishmael was. Jacob was not the oldest. Isaac was not the oldest. Ishmael was. Jacob was not the oldest. It was Esau who was the oldest. David was not the oldest. Okay, so you can see a pattern here that the Most High will choose whom he chooses. Okay, a lot of times, like he'll choose, you'll think he's the Shalom, Lord of Christ. You'll think that he's the least of the ones, but he probably is the strongest one. The youngest, or the one that the Most High chooses. They'll choose the one that people don't think is the strongest. People didn't think David was strong. David was a killer. He just didn't look like it. And now you'll see that even today in the hood. Sometimes you'll underestimate the one that you think won't go there. That's the one that will. One that you think won't go there. That'd be the main killer. So that's just how it is. So, all right. So let's go back. Verse 4. And make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. Verse 5. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. So Rebekah heard this. And Rebekah knew what was to come. Remember, she was told who was supposed to be the greater one, who was supposed to receive the blessing. She knew that. Verse 6. And Rebekah spoke unto Jacob and her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Most High before my death. Okay, so she's now making a plan because she knows it's the will of the Most High anyway. So she's not sinning. She's doing she's doing the will of the Most High. She's going to make sure her son receives the blessing that was told to her. So she knew it. All right, and that's it. Any questions any questions about that? Con, sis? Okay, the first thing I would do, if I may, is that sounds like a Christian church statement. The Christian church says they follow Christ, but don't even. Christ even said, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and don't do the things I say?" The first thing I take them is to Matthew 5, verse 17. If we could turn there. Matthew 5, verse 17. So the sister asked, what do you do if, let me see if I got your question right, when somebody says that Christ came and did away with the law, correct? Okay, well, Christ said out of his own mouth. We'll see what Christ actually said. And this is the rebuttal that I would tell. It's probably a Christian, no disrespect, but it's probably a Christian that said it. Christ said this out of his own mouth, Matthew 5, verse 17. Okay? Very clear what Christ is saying here. Matthew 5, verse 17. Think not. Think not means don't even get it into your mind. Don't even think about this. Okay? Think not. Come on, sir. Think not that I've come to destroy the law. There it goes right there. This is Christ talking. Or the prophets. I have not come to destroy but to fulfill. This is Christ saying that. I didn't come to do away with the law. Okay? I did not. To fulfill means I made it to make it clear. To bring it even more. You want to say?
Yeah, so when I say that to this particular person,
Come on.
he goes to, I think, Corinthians 8, where it says basically like love is
Well, let's go to a precept on that too. We can go to a precept on that. So let me
Like,
this.
what was the question?
So the question is that when a person says that Christ came and he died and did away with the law, so we're gonna do it Matthew 5. But if you and then she said love,
You
right?
did away with the law?
Concept. Keep my command right. That's the next one I was going. So like sir, I don't know if you. I know where a round word is, but we're gonna go to that too. But this is what Christ said. Christ's gonna show you what love is.
1 John 5 and 3.
Say it again.
1 John 5 and 3.
Maybe I can't remember. Okay, so we're gonna go to that, but to address some people that hear, the sister said that people say that it's love, correct? That it's not about the law, it's love. We're gonna address that, but let's continue reading. Christ said, "I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill." Verse 18. "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass away." Now we're still under the same heaven and earth that Christ was under, correct? We didn't have any type of the earth didn't go through a transform, and we don't look like Mars and the other planets. So this is what Christ is saying. Till heaven and earth pass away, one jot, a jot means like a dot, like a comma, or iota, or one jot or tittle, shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. That means a comma won't be taken away from it. Or a cross of the T or a dotting of the I. It's the same heaven and earth that we were under when Christ said that, and we're still under that. Heaven and earth can pass away. Okay? And then this is what we can tell the person. Verse 19. "Whoever shall therefore break one of these least commandments," one of the least commandments, you can eat shrimp now. That's what some people will say, because it's all been blessed. This is what Christ says. "And shall teach men so." This is what a Christian pastor says. "He shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven." Pretty much he'll be insignificant in the kingdom of heaven. You going out here and telling people that the law is done away with, and you're teaching men so, you are going to be least in the kingdom of heaven. "But whoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven." I mean, that's pretty clear. So, like when when the pastor, the friend, says that, it's pretty clear that Christ wanted us to keep the law. Okay, let's go to another one real quick. If we had time, sir, do we have a little bit of time? Oh, Con, so go ahead, sir.
That's why Most High said that no man deceive you, even though people won't go against you. If you believe in that, you're not. You can pull scriptures on and all that, even for the teach the congregation, but a one-on-one situation you can do what you know, just if you want to. No matter what happens, and when he say, you gotta remember what you learned. Christianity comes from the right man. The reason he think comes from the white man. God said the Bible what he's telling you right now. To love me, the commandments. So, never, no matter what happens, remember, you know the truth. You can't get through to him, and so be it, or her, so be it, but you stay strong in the truth. It's only a handful of women involved in it. Christ came back right now, what we say. You want to, I don't need class, or let nobody change their mind. Let no man deceive you.
Con, here's another one that. Go ahead, Slug. Go ahead, sir.
So is the scripture he's bringing out, is it 1 Corinthians 13? Where it say, "And now by the faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity." That's what he's bringing out. See, and so like I know your ride's gonna get into it, but like the thing is, you gotta keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's actually the love part. You see what I'm saying? Like you don't know what love is until you start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Like that is the baseline, or that's the moral compass that we have. I know if I'm keeping these commandments, I'm not going to sin against my brother.
Con.
You see what I'm saying? If the law was done away with, now I'm going off of how I feel. You see what I'm saying? Like love is not a feeling. Love is something that you actually have to do.
Con.
You see what I'm saying? So like I can't say in my moral compass that this is what I think, because what's governing us? That's why these laws, statutes, and commandments are still in effect, because that is love. When you keep these commandments, that's you showing love to your brother and stuff like that.
Con. And if I may, sir, I'm going to add a couple more scriptures. I mean, there's so many, and I can text them to people. We can even put them in the chat if we need to. This is John 14, verse 15. This is all what Christ is saying. John 14, verse 15. If you love me, we talk about love, right? The Christian church will talk about love. Keep my commandments. That's very clear. I mean, you can't really dance around that one. If you love me, if you want to show love towards me, if you want to love, keep my commandments. That's John 14, verse 15. You jump to verse 21. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he is that loveth me, and he that loveth me shall be loved by my Father. So the Most High loves you when you keep your commandments, when he keeps the commandments. And I will love him and will manifest myself to him. So you don't even know Christ if you don't even keep his commandments. That's what he said. I will make myself known to him. So if you're not keeping the commandments, you don't even know who Christ is. Right. You don't even know what type of individual he is. So when people bring up it's about this, if you just read all through John 14, listen, John 14, verse 23, it's all through there. If a man love me, he will keep my words, and my Father will love him. And we will come up to him and make our abode with him. And this is said, verse 24, he that loveth me not, keepeth not my sayings. So that means that's the Christian pastor will dance around it. And the word which ye hear is not mine, but the Father. This is what the Most High wants. Come. They're all from the New Testament.
You said that the old and what?
The scripture that proved that they want to say the Old Testament is done away.
That's it. Go ahead, Slack. That's in Hebrews 2, where it says, "This is the new covenant. I'll put my laws in their heart." That's the new covenant, renewed covenant. The laws it says, "I will put my laws into their heart."
Hebrews 8 and 8.
I think I know it's in Hebrews. I know it's Jeremiah. It's quoting Jeremiah 31.
Right.
But it's like, "I will put my laws into their hearts." That's the new covenant. So, you look through, we could keep going forever. 2 John 1:6, and this is the love that we walk according to his commandments.
And so, if I could, too, real quick, if I could add,
Come,
you always got to look at the spirit of what a person's saying. Someone who's telling you that you don't have to keep the law, what's the spirit behind that?
I honestly feel that this person feels left out because after I explain what a Hebrew Israelite is, he doesn't fit under that umbrella. So
What you mean?
as a Gentile, I guess he feels left out. But I told him just because you're a Gentile doesn't mean you can't follow the law.
It's a black person.
He has a Chinese father and a black mother.
Well, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Well, right, and that's what I try to explain to him. If it doesn't get through to you, it doesn't surprise me because the Most High is not necessarily your God.
Right.
Not your father.
Yeah, and that's one of them things where it's like you marching up a hill trying to convince somebody that this law, it wasn't given to him.
Well, I tried, but at the end of the day, right is right and wrong.
Yeah, and it wasn't meant for him. So
Yeah, they're not going to get it anyway. They don't want to do it because they know they will make it anyway. Even if they do hear the truth, they don't want to accept it.
Well, here's Slack, if I may. Here's another thing I asked when people said we don't have to keep the law. And I said, well, why don't you just break the white man's law? Why do you keep that law? Why do you keep traffic laws? I ask people, if the law is done away with and we don't have to keep it, well, then let's just disobey all laws. Why do you go, when the light is red, why do you stop?
Right.
Keep going. The law's done away with.
Right.
Just keep going through. Because when you disobey any type of law, there's a consequence. Mm-hmm. I can go on top of the Empire State Building and say, well, I don't have to keep the law of gravity no more, and just jump. I'm not Neo from the Matrix, so I'm gonna fall flat on my face and die. That's just common sense. I know if the traffic is going this way, and I break the law and go through, I know I'm gonna get hit. I'm gonna die. So I ask people, well, if we don't have to keep the law anymore, then just break any law. Then go ahead and break the white, just go, go break the white man's law, and see how that turns out for you. It doesn't start to make sense after a while because the argument is, the argument doesn't sound right.
So like, and that's why if a person that's not of this nation, it's convenient for them to say the law is done away with. Because when you really get into the scriptures, like this is the whole point of us reading the scriptures on the Sabbath, so that we know as a people, like we can't say that we don't know the law, because we read it on the Sabbath day. We just read a few weeks ago where it was like, do not give your daughters into their sons, and don't give your sons into their daughter. Because once we start intermingling and interracially dating and stuff like that, we start to serve their gods, and we leave our God. Like that's in the scriptures. That's always happened.
Sir.
And they know that. So once we start, like, it's convenient to say we ain't got to keep these laws, statutes, commandments. The God of the old, this ain't the God of the Bible today. You see what I'm saying? It's convenient. But in actuality, the Lord is protecting us from these, and he called them beasts. You see what I'm saying? Even if they come off like they mean well and they docile and stuff like that, that they are beasts. You see what I'm saying? And it's like their true intentions, they can hide them. They can hide them, but given the right situation, you will see the true nature and the true character of them people. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's just what it is. The Bible tells us this. That's why we say the Bible is the blueprint. If you play sports and you study film of your opponent, you know their you know their strengths and you know their weaknesses. You know how you got to deal with them. The Bible gives us the blueprint on how we got to deal with these other nations. Never trust thine enemy. That's what the Bible says. For like if iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. It's going to show. You see what I'm saying? And when you stand on, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, you are not a Hebrew Israelite, that's something that's offensive to everybody across the face of the earth. You can be anything. You can be he, she, it, they. You can be anything under the sun. But the moment a black person say that they're a Hebrew Israelite, you feel me? That's when it's like, it's an issue with it. You see what I'm saying? And that's for a reason. That's by design.
And slack yourself from me. I'm just going to end on this scripture. Matthew 19. This is real clear. Matthew 19, verse 16. I'll end on this one, unless Officer Gabar something. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master. So this is Christ once again about to explain something. What good thing shall I do that I might have eternal life? So, I mean, even Christians know about what eternal life is, or well, they have another theory of eternal life, but Christians have a concept of eternal life. And this is what Christ said. And he said, Why hast thou called me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, this is how you live, keep the commandments. He didn't say be covered under the blood. He didn't say speak in tongues and utter tongues and, that keep the commandments. Right. I mean, he didn't say, he didn't give a long paragraph. You want to have it, you want to live, keep the commandments. Very simple. Very simple. And so, that's something that, you could tell any Christian that. This is the formula that Christ said. And remember, these aren't his words. This is the words of the Most High. You want to live, keep the commandments. Counsel. Sir.
Everybody want to change the law, but Most High don't. Isaiah 42:21 says, The Lord is well pleased with his righteousness. With his righteousness sake. He will magnify the law and make it honor.
Sir.
And, I'm like, what nobody say, but you can pull out every scripture that we brought out, especially him, but probably a Christian will try their best to weave around it. I mean, it's in their mind that they don't want to do the law. It's a sacrifice. Like Christ had to sacrifice his life, we got to sacrifice our wants. For the love of the world. And the law breaking of the world. So when we come to the truth, that's going to be our sacrifice to God. We want the truth, rags, weed, cigarette bowls, have a sex, and loss of the
Sir. Water. All right. And with that, it's just the people up here. Make sure. Imanium.
La Yashala.
Let's see. Come to school. We gotta salute the Torah. Come. Men of Israel, gird up thy loins. Unmute down. Is that the bottom? Okay. I think that should be good. Let me make sure. I don't, I don't think so. They said the order. I think they said they can hear now. I think they can hear now when we unmuted it.
Can you hear something now?
You want to hear nothing?
It's a little delay, so it might come out now.
Can you hear something now?
Still showing what he was going to speak, so I can't hear it.
Still showing what?
And, it's late.
You saying that you can't hear you, right?
I think my mother said she can hear him. Let me see if she says you can hear me.
Oh, they think they can hear him.
Okay, come on. Go. So, you want to call, knock this up just to hold the tour. Okay. Natazab Garam, present thyself in thy registry. Natazab Garam.
One Yahweh, one Yah, Ha, Wada, one Yah, Shah, Allah. Not the
Zab Garam, Bun Yahweh, Bun Yashala. Amadim Shabbat. Amadim Shabbat.
Man Shabbat.
Hands behind.
Madi,
Amadim. Barak.
Barak, Nasali, Yahweh, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Barak,
Abba Shim Yahshua Brakta.
keep this in.
You got to uncover it. fine. All right, this is just this is for everybody. Oh, I'm sorry, Select. You're supposed to say.
Amadium, which means stand. Wapanyah Hakadam, which means rise and face the east.
Turn that.
We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, then in English. The Lord's Prayer, Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Wadash.
Hayah.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Malak Wathka.
Malak Wathka.
Taba'ah. Batazaka.
Hayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Ba'arataza.
Kawa.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Bashemayim.
Bashemayim.
Nathanaw.
Lakum.
Call.
Yawam.
Wasalakinaw.
Now.
Kawatanaw.
Kawat now.
Kasalakinaw.
Kasalat now.
Kawakinaw.
Kawat now.
Wala'ah. Tabi'aynaw.
Tabi'aynaw now.
When to say one.
When the one.
A ball.
Hawashayna. Mayan. Rad. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Waha'ala. Hatapara. Lawilaman. Aman. In the English, our Father. Which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not. Into temptation. But deliver us. From evil. From thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
This is the power. Yahweh. Hashem Yahushua.
Babukusha.
Nathanaw.
Hakat.
Larapa'ah. Call Allah. Call Madawa. Hakat. Latahar. Hamatazariah. Hakat. Lahakwiyam. Hamathiyam.
Hakat.
Arakawa. Hatama'ala. Lagarashun. Hashem Yahushua. The water among.
Then in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
This is blessed Israel. Yahweh. Hashem Yahushua. Baraklanawa. Yasha'ala.
Wahabiyah.
Saparium. Barak. Hashem Yahushua. The water among.
And in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 121. Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Al-Hahariya. Ma'ayan. Yaba'ah. Isaiah.
Ma'ayin. Yahweh.
Aisha. Shemayam. Wa'arataza. Ayathan. Lamawat. Regalka. Al Yanawam. Shamarka. Mana. La'ah. Yanawam. Wala'ah. Yayashan. Shawamar. Yasha'ala. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Tazolka. Al-Yad. Yamyaka. Yawamam. Hashemash. La'ah. Yakaka. Wayarak. Walayalab. Yahweh. Yashamarka. Kalrai. Yashamar. Apnapashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Taza'afka. Wabawaka. Mayatha. Wa'ai. Awalam.
Aman. In the English, I will lift up my eyes into the hill. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee. From all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. Even forevermore. So be it.
This is Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Adam Yalaka.
Adam Yalaka.
Al Thakarash.
Al Thakarash.
Al Thashakwat.
Al Thashakwat.
Al Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Abu Yabyaka.
Abu Yabyaka.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahama Yawan.
Mama Shanayaka.
Mama Shanayaka.
Nasha'awa.
Nasha'awa.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al Aimaka.
Al Aimaka.
Al Rayamwa.
Al Rayamwa.
Sawad.
Sawad.
Wayataya Al Tazawa.
Wayataya Al Tazawa.
Al Tazapawanyaka.
Al Tazapawanyaka.
Amara.
Amara.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakida.
Wanakakida.
Magoya.
Magoya.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yazakar.
Yazakar.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Aiwa.
Aiwa.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Nawa'ai Tazawa.
Nawa'ai Tazawa.
La.
La.
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Ayakar.
Ayakar.
Raya.
Raya.
Yakarathwa.
Yakarathwa.
Aholia.
Aholia.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wayashama'a Aliyam.
Wamishama'i Aliyam.
Mawa'aba.
Mawa'aba.
Wahagari.
Wahagari.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimalak.
Wa'aimalak.
Palashah.
Palashah.
Am Yashabia.
Am Yashabia.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gum Ashawar.
Gum Ashawar.
Nalawa.
Nalawa.
Imam.
Imam.
Ayawa.
Ayawa.
Zerawat.
Zerawat.
The Bunya Lawat.
Bunya Lawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Aisha Laham.
Aisha Laham.
Kamadi.
Kamani.
Kasa Yasara'a.
Kasa Yasara'a.
Kayabi.
Kayabi.
Wanakor.
Wanakor.
Koyashwa.
Koyashwa.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Ba'ayanda Ara.
Ayanda Ara.
Ayawa.
Ayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La Adama.
La Adama.
Shayathamba.
Shayathamba.
The Yabwa.
The Yabwa.
Ka'ara.
Ka'ara.
Because of Abba.
Because of Abba.
Because of Ba.
Because of Ba.
Wakatazalmana.
The Zalmanai.
Going to say Yakamwa.
Going to say Yakamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Naya Rashad.
Nirusha.
Lanawa.
Nawa.
Ah. Na'awa.
Nawa.
Alahaya.
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 Shayathamba.
Shayathamba.
Kagagala.
Kagogala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
The Punya Raka.
Panya Raka.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
The Ba'ira Ya'ira.
Ira Ira.
Wakalahaba.
Abba.
Talahat.
Talahat.
Haryam.
Haryam.
Khan. The Radatma.
The Radatma.
Wasa'iraka.
The Iraka.
Wasapathka.
What was a Pafka?
The Bahalam.
The Bilham.
Mala'ah.
Mala'ah.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Kwalawan.
Kwalawan.
Wayabakwashwa.
Wayabakwashwa.
Shimka.
Shimka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Wayabaholwa.
Wayabaholwa.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayadaiwa.
Wayaiwa.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Atha.
Atha.
Shimka.
Shimka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The Badka.
The Badka.
Ayawan.
Ayawan.
Alkal.
Alkal.
Ratazah. Aman.
Aman. And in the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
Be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
lo,
thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee,
They that hate thee
have lifted up their head.
lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people,
against thy people.
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Consulted against thy hated ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come.
and let us cut them off
Let us cut them off.
from being a nation,
Being a nation.
that the name of Israel
The name of Israel
may be no more remembered.
be no more remembered.
They have consulted together
They have consulted together
with one consent.
one consent.
They are confederate against
They are
thee.
confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom,
Tabernacles of Edom
and the Israelites,
and the Israelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarene,
Hagarene,
the Baal,
Baal,
and Ammon,
Ammon,
and Amalek,
Amalek,
the Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher is also joined with them.
Asher is also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them
Do unto them
as unto the Midianites.
as unto the Midianites.
To Sisera.
To Sisera.
As to Jabin.
To Jabin.
The brook of Gasan.
The brook of Gasan.
Which perished at Endor.
Perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the
It
earth.
became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a ram.
It knows like a
And
red,
like the head.
like the head.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes is Zabak.
All their princes
And
about
as Zamuna.
is a moon.
Who said,
Who said,
let us take to
Let
ourselves
us take to
the
ourselves
houses of Yahweh in possession.
the house of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like wood.
As the stubble before the wind.
As a stubble for the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
The fire burning the wood.
And as the flame sets the mountains on fire.
As the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute them
With thy tempest.
with thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
Make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
They may seek thy name.
They may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be
And
confounded.
trouble forever.
Trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
perish.
That men may know.
That men may know
That thou.
that thou,
Whose name alone.
whose name alone
Is Yahweh.
is Yahweh,
Art the most high.
art the most high
Over all the earth.
of all the earth.
So be it.
So be it. This is the blessings. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shah.
Wa Yahweh Shah.
Wa min Yaka Allah.
Wa min Yaka Allah.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Tazab Ya'ah.
Tazab Ya'ah.
Alawap Yahana.
Alawap Yahana.
Ha Alawapyam.
Ha Alawapyam.
Hasaranyam.
Hasaranyam.
Hakwatazayanyam.
Hakwatazayanyam.
Hakayayanyam.
Hakayayanyam.
Wa Ha'akwatyam.
Wa Ha'akwatyam.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem Yahushua.
Hashem Yahushua.
Wa Raman.
The water I'm on in the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shah.
And Yahweh Shah.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
The angels.
Commander General Yohanan.
Commander General Yohanan.
The general.
The general. lieutenants,
the captains,
captains,
the officers,
the officers,
the troopers,
the troopers,
and the sisters.
and the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you. So be it.
So be it.
These are the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth,
And all things living.
and all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh
In the name
Shai.
of Yahweh Shai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
Speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
And shake loose the treasure
Of the rich of Israel.
of the rich of
That
Israel.
refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
And that's like it. To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And the drug dealers.
And the drug dealers.
The court system.
Court system.
The prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments are our enemies.
All governments are our enemies.
And like synagogues and armies.
And like synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Comitatus.
Posse Comitatus.
The gay movement.
The gay movement.
The gay movement.
The gay movement.
The lesbian movement.
The lesbian movement.
The lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
That's a space program.
That's a space program.
Army. Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airways.
And the airways.
The cable access channel.
Cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
The radio channel.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit.
Of any of thy people.
Of any of thy people.
That seek to stop us.
Seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction.
And bring swift
To
destruction.
all the heathen.
To all the heathen.
That stand in the way.
Stand in the way.
Or try to stop us.
Try to stop us.
From broadcasting your word.
Broadcasting your word.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the
Let
plagues.
loose all the plagues.
Cause them go to and fro.
Cause them go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
Consume them.
Let the plagues.
plagues.
Shake the house of the thief.
Shake the house of the thief.
And the murder.
And the murder.
Let Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying
Come down
saucer.
with the flying sauce.
Punish all the heathen.
Punish all the heathen.
That come up against us.
Come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
And speak that word.
Cause me know.
Cause we know.
By all.
By all.
That is the angels.
is the angels
that have done
that
it.
have done it.
Cause it to be spread.
Cause it to be spread.
Through the media.
Through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake it thy coming.
Cause them to shake it thy
In
coming.
the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
Sar, which means return. Okay. Let's like me. This concludes the service. Okay. Sister Ahmad.
Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Ahmadi, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakadam,
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakadam.
Yadi Matah, Sa, Sister Ahmadi, which means stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Ahmadi, Barak,
Yahweh Shema Alathah Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Yahweh.
Shamar, Alatham, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.
Yadi Matah, class dismissed.
Good service.
It's like
It's going okay. How you doing?